Glad to know you're still with us. It's still Sports Tonight. We're broadcasting live from Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. And we're having fun already because, yes, when we talk about Duanyo Adekoye, she brings smiles to our faces. You could be part of the show on Twitter, or Channels_sports, and on Facebook, or Channels-sports. Well, let me come to you. Let's talk about football in Nigeria. Yesterday, there was a press statement. The Minister for Sports, Barrister Solomon Dalung, saying NFF don't make illegal sale of our young players. It's okay. The NFF came out and say, hey, we're in line with that order too. We've been saying it, that we want to protect our young players.
Well, Austin, with due respect, I think the Honourable Minister should be more shrewd. Shouldn't play to the gallery. You see, when you catch a suspect and you take the suspect to court, you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the suspect is guilty. You know, if you make such, for me, I think it's a wild statement. Yes, we know that such practices are going on. But I think as a minister, what he's supposed to do is to, investigate. He can carry out independent investigation, commission some people to do some investigation, and call these people to order. Because it's not good for Nigerian football.
That's right.
That budding young talents find themselves in a terrible situation, transfer situation, and maybe the next 5-6 years of their career,
they are suffering.
They get derailed. So I think it's not something that should be on the pages of newspaper. It's a very serious issue.
Yeah.
And what he has done is to put the guys on alert. I don't expect the NFF to do anything more than this, than to come out and deny. But the reality is that we know that such things happen. And you cannot solve it by raising the alarm almost immediately. He has to investigate, find out those people who are involved. I think it's a cartel. It's like a syndicate all over, everywhere. There are people, working in the Football Federation, working in several clubs, agents.
Just to cheat young players.
We've had a lot of, unconfirmed, uncomplimentary issues surrounding Victor Osimhen. These are the things we are not supposed to hear concerning these budding talents. So I think for the minister, this is a very, very serious issue. It's not something you just gloss over, make a statement, issue a press release, and maybe the federation will debunk, and everybody goes to sleep. It is, endemic in our football.
I totally agree with you. Yeah. But I mean, the NFF, they're saying, they're commending the Honourable Minister, and they're saying it's in tandem with their plans. But as it is, the minister is talking, the NFF, they're talking. We cannot wait for them to implement policies that will actually bring these things into actualization.
Yeah, we can't wait. I mean, I remember 2001, the under-17 set. Well, this is privileged information anyway. I know 5 of them that went to Bulgaria. And because they were under 17, I mean, they had to go for slave deals. And that was like the best time in their careers. You use your prime, I don't know if I should call it prime time, but the prime of your years, and you're playing football as an underage. You're going to be cheated, you're going to be paid. And a lot of this go into all of this. And I hope that these issues, I would hope that the minister is not playing to the gallery. I would hope that he is not, because when you're doing cleanup, you don't need to advertise it. You want to sanitize the system. You need to find a systemic way to do it, and ensure that while you're doing it, those who are doing those under the table deals, you clean them up and you ensure that it doesn't happen. Now people just have an opportunity to just fold their hands a little, and when the dust settles, people just he said players shouldn't, the NFF should not give international transfer certificates for players who sign contracts that do not serve their own interests. And I think that is good. You should not allow your best players, and that's why you have all our best players ending up in Malta, Lebanon, Iraq, Afghanistan, and those kind of funny places. And you wonder, because people now start throwing an argument. If you're an African, a 70-year-old African and a 70-year-old European, the things are rigged against you already.
That's right.
Because your country does not belong to EU. Okay. And so in the next 10 years, people begin to judge, look at Christopher Macaulay and look at Bojan. From the start, it doesn't favor. And now if you now have a situation where you now have to sign slave deals when the next 5 years of your life is the best part of your football playing career, and you just end up, that's why most of our players are not able to climb to the top. So patience is the key. On the part of the footballers, don't be in a hurry to travel. I mean, I know a particular former Super Eagles player that signed that I heard.
Of them is not their decision.
That I heard that 60% of what he earns actually does not. I don't want to mention the name, but I know 60% doesn't belong to him, and that's why when some clubs come with what is crumbs, it appears to them like money because they're already in a slave. And
sometimes they just want to leave. But let's just read. Let's just take a quote from the NFF president Amaju Pinnick responding to the statement from the office of the Minister for Sports. He says the minister did not talk about NFF selling players because he knows very well that the Nigeria Football Federation is not in the business of selling players, and we agree. The NFF only issues international transfer certificates after due agreement between the concerned clubs and the player in question. The bit about NFF selling players was never part of the Honorable Minister's comments. That's the part I don't understand. Yeah, that's what I don't understand.
That was why I said, in the first place, the Football Federation, we debunk the story, we deny the story. And you see, we keep on going on and on, all motion and no movement. And that was why I said earlier that the minister should have called the federation. There is a department in the Football Federation that handles the ITC. And you see, that department must be told to adhere to standards. If the ITC of any player, especially underage players, does not lay down standards, then
or it's not even in the interest of the player.
Yes, that thing should be questioned, and the players should also be educated. They should also form part of the responsibility of the federation. Educate these youngsters. Some of them have little or no education. Right. They are young, they are naive. You have to call them with their parents and educate them. This thing you are going to sign, this contract, this is where it's going to lead you to. I hope you know what they are doing. So most times what happens is that the guys there try to feather their own nest first and foremost, what they get to the agents. So I think it's what the minister should do. And not issuing a press release. The press release will not. It's like you're going to catch a thief. The policemen are going there, and you're already telling the thieves that you are coming. Of course, they will bolt away, or they prepare or clean up. So that's those who are advising the minister should advise him to be more shrewd, apply wisdom. These things are there, but you have to be very, very, very tactical.
Particularly when you're coming to meet these issues. I like what you said about education. And it's not just the young players. Even some older players in the MPFL, you need to teach them. Network just recently.
Yeah, for the older players, often there's little or nothing we can do. But if a player goes to in Oman and in 3 months his salary is regular, he has played there for 5 years. Out of that 5 years, he doesn't get what he deserves. You cannot blame him. You cannot blame him. I think the onus is for us to make our league much more attractive. We have seen Egyptian players turning down offers in Europe.
Lucrative offers.
Lucrative offers.
And it's beginning to happen to South Africa. It's beginning to happen to South Africa. South African players are content to sit down and play in the PSL because they are treated like stars. They get endorsements.
And it's even an open door to you to the national team. Absolutely. Because those players have preference.
If you look at the South African national team, for instance, you might get maybe just 4 or 5 professionals. So there's synergy when they want to take their players, travel abroad.
When they even go on trials, they don't put in their best. They go like, I think somebody was saying that that mentality, because they are well treated at home, when they go on trials, they don't go begging. They go like stars. And it's like you take it or leave it. And they go back to South Africa. It's not like for the Nigerian players, they are desperate.
I also think that the NFF is not an excuse to look away. I mean, you can always look and look at these guys as assets. And look, it's not good in the interest of Nigeria for you to end up in this or go down this way and stop some of those things and not look at the immediate gains that will come.